How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 8 in the garden. Today we're not pulling any weeds today. I did some of that this morning, and this week I plan on getting the weeds out of my strawberry beds and my onion bed. That's gonna be this week's goal. Allow weeds to be pulled. Today we will be we have 2 pepper plants I need planted in their 5-gallon buckets. I got 3 plants I need to be planted in my coleus area, and some stuff to tie up. So let's get to it. All right, like I said, no weed pulling today, but as you can see, we got a lot of weeds in the strawberry areas. This one a lot. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull these weeds. I'm gonna put straw down on top of them. Maybe that'll try to keep the weeds at bay. And then over in my onions here, there are onions in this bed, as you can see. However, the dirt I used must not have been, or the compost must not have been completely good, because I have lots of other things in here that don't need to be in here. So let's get us some more buckets. I got 2 buckets to fill up, and then we're gonna take a look at the sunflowers, cucumbers, pumpkins, and some other stuff. Alright, so same thing as before. I've got holes in the bottom of my buckets, along the edges. That should be good. It's gonna rain the next few days, so this one will get separated on its own, kind of all good there. All right, here is one of the plugs I have. These are cherry hots. They look like little cherry tomatoes pretty much, but they're peppers. So we're gonna dig our little hole, get it covered up, and then later I'll come through and I'll add a nice potting mix on top of it so it's well fertilized. And then in about 2 weeks I'll come through with some other fertilizer for the dirt, and we'll be all set. Alrighty, number 2. These bags of dirt that I'm using are these right here. So let's have some fertilizer in it. I see very little bits of green as I load them up, so I know I'm gonna need more later. These bags are about 8 to 10 bucks, depending where you're at. All right, same type of pepper here. Get him buried in there. There's that task for the day. All right, the next thing on today's task is getting this raspberry bush cleaned up. As long as I don't break all the stems like I just did, we should be all right. Do our best to bring it in, like so. right, we're gonna give that a try for a few days, maybe the rest of the week, and see if it does end up building outwards to get the nutrients it needs from the sun. I really don't want to like cut it down at all. However, since I've just broken a few of these, I guess we're gonna find out how well it actually does. Alrighty, next item on the list here is I've got some cucumbers here that need to be tied up so that they can start grabbing this trellis. So we'll go ahead and start at the end and see kind of what we're working with here. We'll try to separate these plants the best that we can. All right. Do my best to straighten out the video there, get you guys a little closer in so I can see what I'm doing here. Do apologize for the wind. So right where these two leaves split, I'm gonna go ahead and tie a knot right there. Just like that. Then I'm gonna bring my string up and around like this, and this is where I'm gonna tie my second knot. It's a little tight, however, it'll keep the plants off of the ground, and it should keep them to grow upwards versus across the soil. Because right next to these guys, I have my beans, and I really don't want those to grow under the canopy and not get enough sun, or plants get under there and then they end up rotting or something along those lines. So we're gonna do our best here to get them up and on the trellis, keep the vegetables off the dirt, and yeah. All right, here's another small one. I'm gonna leave to the side for now, because once they know kind of where to go, they should start growing upwards. It also helps maybe if you take the leaves like this, kind of show them like where they need to go. I give this guy a quick move here. Oh. All right, so here is another one. We're gonna go ahead and move him all the way up, grab some string. I'm gonna do it down here as well, so that way he stays up and doesn't fall over. All right, and here's another one. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this guy to the bottom of the trellis and bring him back up, just because he has kind of a weird growth going on right now. Let's see if I can get him right about here. That's where I want him. This one may take a few extra strings to get him where I want him. That'll be okay. All right, there's that guy. And then we've got a few more that we need to get handled up here. So here's another one I'm gonna bring on the outside of the trellis. Put about right there. Now, if you're doing this at home and you don't know whether you want to use string or the other plastic tape type stuff, I've never used the plastic tape. I am interested in trying it. However, every time I think about it, I forget, and then when it times come to do this, I end up using string. String's only a few bucks, so if you're on a budget, string's probably the better option. Or I've heard of people using the twisty ties from bread and stuff as well. Just kind of repurpose those. So you can use those too. All right, how many more do we got? We just got one more here. Two more. These two guys here, we're gonna try to bring along the outside as well. Just because we have the beans right next to us here and we don't want to cause any other issues. See if I can slide him out through here. Alrighty guys, and the same thing right here like in the last video. We're going to go ahead and get these nice and tied up. I do apologize about the voiceover. It was getting pretty windy, so the sound wasn't so great. But as the ones I tied up last week or the other day, they're doing pretty well. They're starting to find their path along the trellis I built. And what I'm going to do here is some of these longer ones that I found at the bottom of the pack. I'm just going to get brought up to the top, get them tied off, and get them sorted out. Now on this one here, you can see those little green, look like little strings coming off the plant. Those are, I call them the plant fingers. But what those are for, they're going to go ahead and grab the trellis and they're going to wrap around like a spiral. And that's going to be what's going to hold it further down the line. So at the moment, I can get these as close as they can to the trellis. And usually it takes about a day or two so they find it and they wrap themselves around it and have no more further issues. And they'll continue to climb the direction I place them. And then here I am checking the rest of them, make sure there's no other ones that need to be brought up to the top. And it looks like I can't find any. We do have a very small pumpkin growing, so I might pinch that off. However, for the pumpkins, this is going to be it for the day. Hopefully the next few days they look a lot better. Alrighty, and here's another spot that I need to get some work done. I planted sunflowers through here. However, you can see I was doing rows, but for some reason we got a big bunch right there that grew together. So the plan is to use this old screwdriver to softly pull up the roots just like that. See if maybe I can separate them out a little bit. Then bring them down over here. Granted, when these start to get really big, I'll have to pluck out which ones are good, which ones are bad. But for now, I can do my best to separate them out so that they have the best chance at being a very tall one. So that's a weed. Get rid of that. I'll get to that guy right there. Very softly. Just like that. Pull that one with it. That little guy. Those two can stay how they are because one of them will die out like that one did. These other ones we can go ahead and plant right in the middle. All I'm doing is I'm using a screwdriver, poke a hole, a circle, and get those roots down deep. We do have some rain on the way coming up in the next day or so, so these will be able to take root again and they'll be all right, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, that looks a little bit better. Look at that. Alright, then off camera we went ahead and got all the leaves pulled from these beds. After we get some of these strawberries picked, I'll come in and lay straw on top. Hopefully that'll help choke out these weeds. And then last year we had this issue where we magically got some tomato plants in the strawberries. So I don't know if I'm going to relocate those or try to put a circle trellis to go upwards with them. Because I don't know what they're going to be. I don't know if they're gonna be a beef or a cherry or what they're gonna come out to be, so we'll go ahead and get those taken care of when that time comes. Alrighty, sorry for the change in the video. This is what I call my clearance rack row. Most of these plants were on clearance for only a few bucks because they're about to die, and I was able to bring them back. Now, the plants you're gonna see in this area are only annuals. They will not come back next year, sadly. However, they are kind of nice to have. A few of these here I've had for so long that they've started to outgrow the container they're in. Most because they were almost dead when I bought them, and then with a little care and a little extra guidance, I was able to bring them back to life. When I was buying these plants, I did end up buying some seeds online that go with these plants, so next year I can grow some of my own, so I can have them in this area as well. And most of these plants right here are more of the sun to shade or shade to sun. This fence line here is on the north side, so it does get some sun, it does get some shade, and oftentimes they do get watered quite a bit, so that'll be good as well. And as you see with this one here, all those nasty roots on the bottom, I was thinking about clipping those off and breaking up that root ball. However, this plant's already been through so much, I'm gonna go ahead and keep the roots on there and get it planted down below, and then I'll let it sort itself out down the road. This guy here, I was trying to get it to focus in on the tag. A Lottie Dottie. These come in a lot of different colors. This one was supposed to be pink and white, and I've kind of gotten it back to where it needs to be. So I'm hoping now that I get it into its new home, it'll start to sprout, get a little taller. I don't know the exact measurements on how high these get or how wide they get. I think it's only a few feet tall, if that. So I'm really excited to see how this guy turns out. And then right next to it, you see I have a beautiful coleus plant. These plants I've come across this year. I really like them. I really like the way they look. A lot of different variations of these plants. And you're about to see the next one I plant is one that was for $1 because it was very small and it was not working out so well. It took me about a month and a half to get it back to where it was supposed to be. And it's a great big tub like this one here. And it's a really beautiful plant, really nice looking. So this one's gonna take me a little bit extra time to get the hole dug, just because it's in so deep. I was actually gonna keep this plant in this pot for a little bit longer until I picked it up yesterday and realized the roots are coming out of the bottom of this pot. So I say, well, I guess now is a better time than none to go ahead and get this planted and hopefully see it come back and bigger and stronger. These plants are, depending on what variety it is, will get right around 2 feet wide and a few feet tall. And then what will happen near the end of the year is they'll sprout one stem with a flower on it, and that'll have your seeds on it. So I'm really hoping the ones in this area do seed at the end of the year so I can collect those seeds and make some more of these next year. Sometimes it's really hard to find these wacky varieties because they're really not ones that are very popular to get. So oftentimes if you do see them, you do want to grab them because you may not see that variety again. Alrighty guys, well that's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed the pumpkins, the strawberries, sunflowers, cucumbers, my clearance rack row there at the end. I do apologize, I had to voice over some of those parts. It got really windy. As you see, we have some dark clouds coming in, so we're going to have to go taken care of. Oh yeah, it's going to be it for today. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.